In a far-off galaxy, the Galactic Empire ruled with power and pride. Their ships, sleek and shining, filled the skies. The leaders of the Empire gathered in a grand room, surrounded by screens displaying the latest reports from their scouts. On one screen, a small blue planet glowed brightly. This planet was Earth. "Look at that little rock," laughed Grand Admiral Varric, a tall figure with sharp features. "They call it Earth, but it's nothing but a pathetic backwater. Their people are weak and silly." The other leaders joined in the laughter. Commander Lyra, with her bright red hair and piercing eyes, added, "Humans can barely survive on their own planet. They fight over land and resources like children." Varric slammed his fist on the table. "Let's send a team to show them who's really in charge. A quick visit, and we'll put them in their place. They need to learn that the Empire does not tolerate weakness." The leaders nodded in agreement, excited by the idea. They saw Earth as an easy target, a chance to flex their muscles and prove their strength. "Prepare a scouting mission," Varric ordered. "We'll show them what real power looks like." Meanwhile, on Earth, life went on as usual. Humans worked, played, and faced their everyday challenges. Little did they know that the Empire was coming. In a small military base, a group of soldiers was training hard, pushing themselves to become better fighters. Among them was Captain Mia, a strong and determined leader. She knew that Earth faced many threats, but she believed in her team. One day, while training, Mia received a message from her superiors. "We've detected a strange ship entering Earth's atmosphere." The message read, "Stay alert and prepare for any situation." Mia felt a shiver run down her spine. "Everyone listen up," she shouted to her team. "We might have company. Stay sharp and be ready for anything." As the hours passed, the Empire's scouts landed on Earth, their ship camouflaged among the trees. They stepped out, clad in shiny armor, their weapons at the ready. The Empire's soldiers laughed at the sight around them. "This place is a joke!" "They don't even have real defenses," one soldier scoffed. The Empire's team moved through the forest, confident and cocky. They thought humans would run away at the first sight of them. "Let's find some of these pathetic Earthlings and show them who we are," Varric's orders echoed in their minds. But as they ventured deeper into the woods, they found themselves surrounded by Mia and her soldiers. "Hold your positions," Mia commanded, her voice steady and clear. The humans stood tall, ready to protect their home. The Empire soldiers were taken aback. "What? You think you can stop us?" one of them shouted, disbelief on his face. The Empire was used to being feared, not challenged. But Mia and her team stood firm, refusing to back down. "Pathetic Earthlings think you can fight?" sneered another Empire soldier, confidence flooding his voice. "You are nothing to us!" Mia stepped forward, her eyes fierce. "We may be small, but we will not be underestimated. We are ready to defend our home no matter what it takes." The Empire soldiers laughed again, their mockery echoing through the trees. "This will be an easy victory," one said, grinning widely. "We'll crush you in no time." But as the tension grew, Mia felt something shift in the air. This wasn't just a simple fight, it was about respect. The Empire believed they could walk all over Earth, but Mia knew they had a surprise waiting for them. As the two sides faced off, the Empire's laughter filled the air, but it would soon turn to shock. They had no idea what the humans were capable of. The mocking would soon give way to something much more serious, and the Empire would learn that Earth was not as pathetic as they thought. Mia and her team prepared for battle, ready to show the Galactic Empire that they were wrong. This was just the beginning, and the humans were about to prove their strength. The tension hung in the air like a storm cloud. Mia and her soldiers stood ready, faces set with determination as they faced the Empire's team, who were still laughing at the pathetic Earthlings before them. But Mia knew this was their moment to shine. "Hold your ground!" she shouted to her team. They tightened their grips on their weapons, preparing for whatever came next. The Empire soldiers, clad in shiny armor, advanced with confidence, their laughter ringing in the woods. "Look at them! They think they can fight us," one Empire soldier jeered, waving his weapon in the air. "Let's show them how wrong they are." Without warning, one of the Empire soldiers charged forward, ready to prove his strength. "You're going down!" he shouted, lunging at Mia. But she was ready. With a quick move, she dodged and countered, bringing him down to the ground. The other Empire soldiers stopped laughing, shock replacing their confidence. "Did you see that?" one of them gasped. "They can fight!" Mia seized the moment. "We are not afraid of you. Earth may be small, but we will protect it." Her voice was loud and clear, echoing through the trees. The Empire soldiers exchanged nervous glances, their bravado beginning to crack. "Let's regroup!" shouted their commander, realizing the tide was turning. The Empire team formed a line, weapons raised, but Mia and her soldiers did not back down. Instead, they stood firm, ready to fight for their home. The battle erupted with the sound of weapons clashing. Mia led her team, moving like a well-oiled machine. They worked together, using their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage. The Empire soldiers were strong and well-trained, but they were not prepared for the fierce spirit of humanity. One Empire soldier attempted to flank Mia, but she quickly turned, using her training to outmaneuver him. She took him down with a swift kick, surprising everyone around. "This is Earth," she shouted, her voice rising above the chaos. "We will not back down!" The Empire team found themselves struggling to keep up. "They're fighting back harder than we thought," one soldier exclaimed, panic creeping into his voice. "We need to retreat!" But Varric, the Grand Admiral, watched from a distance, fuming with anger. "Stay strong! We cannot show weakness!" he barked. His eyes narrowed as he surveyed the battlefield. He was determined to crush the humans and show them their place. Mia sensed the Empire's hesitation. "Now is our chance!" she urged her team. They pressed forward, using every skill they had learned in training. The Empire soldiers were beginning to falter, their confidence fading. "Why are they fighting so hard?" one of the Empire soldiers whispered to his friend. "They should be scared of us." "Maybe they're not scared at all," his friend replied, eyes wide. "Maybe they're just angry." The realization hit the Empire team hard. They had come to Earth expecting an easy victory, but now they faced fierce resistance. The humans were fighting not just for survival, but for their home and their pride. As the battle continued, more Empire soldiers began to question their mission. "Maybe we shouldn't have come here," one soldier murmured. "These humans are stronger than we thought." Just then, Mia spotted an opening. With a rallying cry, she led her team forward, pushing the Empire soldiers back. The humans fought with passion, their hearts fueled by the desire to protect their planet. The Empire team, now on the defensive, struggled to regroup. Varric shouted orders, but his voice was drowned out by the sounds of battle. The Empire soldiers began to lose their spirit, realizing they had underestimated their opponents. Finally, as the dust settled and the echoes of battle faded, the Empire's laughter had turned to silence. Mia stood tall, breathing heavily but proud. She looked around at her team, their faces filled with determination and strength. "We are not just survivors," Mia declared, looking toward the Empire. "We are fighters, and we will protect our home." The Empire had come to mock Earth, but now they faced something they had never expected, the fierce spirit of humanity. And as they regrouped, they began to understand that this was not the easy victory they had planned. The true fight was just beginning. The battle had turned chaotic, with dust and debris swirling in the air. The Empire soldiers, once filled with confidence, now felt the weight of uncertainty. Mia and her team stood their ground, showing the true strength of humanity. They had fought hard, and the Empire was starting to realize that Earth was not the easy target they thought. As the fighting slowed, Varric gathered his soldiers, his expression fierce. "We must regroup and reassess our strategy," he shouted, but his voice was strained. He could see the fear in his men's eyes. They had come to conquer, not to fight for their lives. Mia took a deep breath, sensing an opportunity. "Let's use this moment to learn about each other," she suggested to her team. "We need to show them that we are more than just fighters." As the Empire soldiers hesitated, Mia approached them slowly, her hands raised to show she meant no harm. "We don't want to fight anymore," she called out. "We just want to talk." The Empire soldiers looked at each other, unsure. Varric stepped forward, his jaw clenched. "You think we will listen to you? You are nothing but a nuisance!" His anger flared, but he couldn't hide the hint of doubt in his eyes. Mia stood tall, her voice steady. "We may be small, but we are strong. We have faced many challenges on Earth. We have fought wars, survived disasters, and rebuilt our world. We are not weak." Some Empire soldiers exchanged glances, beginning to question their commander. "Maybe we should hear her out," one soldier said quietly. "They are fighting hard for their planet." Varric shot him a glare. "You are being foolish. These humans are nothing." But even he could feel the shift in the air. His soldiers were not as eager to fight anymore. Mia took another step closer. "You have come to conquer us, but we want to understand you too. Why do you think you are superior? Have you ever seen what we are capable of?" As she spoke, she could see some of the Empire soldiers nodding. They were beginning to listen. We may not have your technology, but we have resilience. We have the heart to fight for our home, she continued. Finally, Varric's facade began to crack. Resilience? What does that even mean? He asked, his voice losing some of its power. It means we don't give up, Mia replied, her eyes shining with conviction. It means we face our fears and rise up when challenged. We have learned to adapt and survive no matter what. The Empire soldiers began to murmur among themselves. They had always seen humans as weak, but here was a soldier standing before them, strong and unyielding. The doubt in their minds was growing. Maybe they are not so weak after all, one soldier whispered to another. I have heard stories of humans who have fought against impossible odds. Varric, noticing the change, clenched his fists in frustration. Enough of this! We are the Galactic Empire! We do not fear these Earthlings. But his words fell flat. The other soldiers were no longer convinced. They were beginning to see the truth. The humans were fierce, and their spirit was undeniable. Mia felt a surge of hope. If we work together, we can learn from each other. We don't have to be enemies. You can see our strength and learn from it, she urged. A young Empire soldier, who had been quiet until now, stepped forward. I want to learn. I want to know more about these humans, he said, his voice steady. Maybe there is something we can gain from this. Varric glared at him, but the young soldier stood his ground. Other soldiers began to nod in agreement, and the tension in the air shifted once more. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the battlefield, the two sides stood in a hesitant silence. Mia felt a sense of victory, not just in battle, but in breaking through the walls that separated them. Let us show you our world, Mia said softly. Let us teach you about our strengths. With that simple invitation, the seeds of understanding were planted. The Empire may have come to mock Earth, but they were beginning to discover the true strength of humanity. The fight was far from over, but a new path was forming, a path toward respect and cooperation. The air was thick with tension as Mia and her team stood before the Empire soldiers, waiting for a response. After the fierce battle, a shift had occurred. The Empire, once full of arrogance, now faced uncertainty. Their laughter had faded, replaced by cautious curiosity. Varric, the Grand Admiral, felt the ground shifting beneath him. He had come to Earth with confidence, believing he would crush the humans without a second thought. But now, as he looked at the determination in Mia's eyes, he felt a chill run down his spine. Enough of this nonsense, Varric barked, trying to regain control. We will not be swayed by a few brave words. Prepare to fight! Mia sensed the danger but refused to back down. You may want to fight, but we don't have to. Let's show each other our strengths instead. But Varric was not convinced. He raised his weapon and shouted, Forward! Show them the might of the Galactic Empire! His soldiers hesitated, caught between following their leader and considering Mia's words. Suddenly, a loud explosion shook the ground. A hidden group of Empire soldiers hiding in the trees launched an attack without warning. The sound echoed through the forest and chaos erupted once again. Mia quickly shouted, Fall back! Regroup! Her team moved swiftly, taking cover and forming a defensive line. The Empire soldiers had launched a surprise attack, and the battle was back on. Take them down! Varric commanded, anger blazing in his eyes. The Empire soldiers charged forward, their confidence renewed by their leader's fierce orders. Mia's team fought bravely, using their knowledge of the land to their advantage. They ducked behind trees and rocks, working together to fend off the Empire's assault. Stick together! Mia yelled, leading her soldiers in a tight formation. The clash was fierce, and the sounds of weapons clashing filled the air. Mia felt adrenaline coursing through her veins as she fought side by side with her team. They were more than just soldiers. They were a family, united by their love for their home. As the battle raged on, Mia spotted an opportunity. She noticed that some of the Empire soldiers were beginning to falter, their resolve cracking under the pressure. Now's our chance, she shouted. Push forward! With renewed energy, Mia and her team charged at the Empire soldiers, surprising them with their ferocity. The Empire soldiers were not used to facing such determination from their opponents. They had come expecting an easy victory, but instead found themselves in a fight for their lives. Fall back! Fall back! Varric shouted, realizing that the tide was turning against them. The Empire soldiers began to retreat, their bravado fading. They had come to Earth with the intent to conquer, but they were now facing the harsh reality of defeat. Mia's team pressed on, their spirits lifted. They could feel the shift in momentum.
Don't let up,
Mia urged, her voice ringing with hope. We can show them what humanity is capable of. But as they pushed forward, Varric realized he needed to change tactics. Regroup! Hold the line! He yelled, trying to rally his soldiers. But doubt hung in the air, and his voice lacked the authority it once had. As the battle continued, Mia noticed that some Empire soldiers were starting to lower their weapons, confusion written on their faces. They had come to Earth expecting an easy win, but they were now faced with the unexpected strength of humanity. The fight raged on, but the spirit of the Empire soldiers was faltering. They had underestimated the humans, and now they were paying the price. The laughter that once filled the battlefield had been replaced by cries of surprise and fear. Finally, with one last push, Mia and her team surged forward, and the Empire soldiers began to scatter. Varric's face turned pale as he watched his soldiers retreat. "This can't be happening!" he shouted, disbelief flooding his voice. As the dust settled and the battle came to an end, Mia stood victorious. Her team cheered, a sound of triumph that echoed through the trees. They had fought hard and shown the Empire that they were not to be underestimated. But even in victory, Mia knew the fight was not over. The Empire might have retreated today, but they would surely return. As she looked at her team, she felt a mix of pride and determination. They had proven their strength, but now it was time to prepare for whatever came next. Earth was worth fighting for, and they would stand ready to protect it. The battlefield lay quiet, the echoes of battle fading into the distance. Mia looked around at her team, weary but triumphant. They had fought hard and shown the Empire that Earth was not to be underestimated. The Empire soldiers had retreated, but their laughter and arrogance were now replaced by uncertainty. "Today we proved our strength," Mia announced, her voice ringing with pride. Her team cheered, a chorus of hope and victory filling the air. They had come together as a united force, and their spirit was unbreakable. As the dust settled, Mia felt a mix of relief and concern. She knew that the Empire would not stay away for long. Varric and his soldiers had tasted defeat, and that would not sit well with them. They would return, perhaps even stronger, and the fight would continue. Gathering her team, Mia spoke with determination. "We need to prepare for what comes next. This was just the first step. We must train harder, learn more, and build our defenses. Earth is worth fighting for, and we will protect it." The team nodded in agreement, each member understanding the weight of her words. They had come together in the face of danger, and now they needed to grow stronger. It was not just about fighting, it was about understanding their own strength and resilience.